You know, your body has been continuously, silently, and efficiently detoxing itself every single day since long before you could even read the word detox. Think about that for a second. Every single moment, whether you're asleep, working, or just hanging out, your internal biological systems are filtering, purifying, and balancing the whole shebang. Yet somehow this massive multi-million-dollar wellness industry has sprung up out of nowhere, aggressively convincing us we need their expensive help to do what our bodies literally do for free. Today, we're tearing down the detox industry and exposing 7 wildly popular products that, scientifically speaking, are completely useless.
So, it's the multi-million-dollar question, right? Does your body really need a $60 supplement just because it has a fancy green leaf on the label? Do we genuinely need expensive overnight patches, complex spa routines, or aggressive teas? Honestly, as consumers, it's a question we absolutely have to ask before handing over our hard-earned cash. We're going to systematically check the actual science behind 7 of the most popular detox products sold in the US right now. We're putting these massive marketing claims head-to-head with harsh physiological reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute undeniable truth of the matter is that your liver and your kidneys are the absolute, entirely free built-in detox system. I mean, they are actively filtering your blood continuously without any external assistance from some specialized product. No monthly subscription fee required. You literally just have to be alive. But you know, modern wellness marketing thrives on making us forget this foundational biological fact.
So let's start with our first category, digestive myths, specifically teas and charcoal.
Now, teas and charcoal are incredibly popular right now. They're constantly pushed by influencers as the ultimate quick fix. But there's this massive gap between what the glossy label claims that daily tea is doing to your stomach and what's actually happening on a cellular level. Just look at the marketing versus the stark reality. The boxes promise to flush fat and toxins, often guaranteeing a perfectly flat stomach in just days. But the reality? It's simply laxative-induced water loss. When you drink these teas, step on the scale and see a drop. You aren't seeing fat leave the body, and you certainly aren't seeing mysterious toxins magically vanish. You're just seeing a temporary, highly misleading drop in water weight. And, well, you're going to the bathroom a lot more.
The main culprit driving this whole illusion is usually an ingredient called senna. It's a mild laxative found in a vast majority of these detox teas, and the science here is crystal clear. Senna causes water loss, not fat loss. And what's actually kind of alarming is that if used regularly, relying on a laxative-based tea can totally disrupt your normal digestive function over time. So a product heavily marketed to improve your overall wellness and, quote-unquote, cleanse your system can actually end up damaging your natural digestive rhythm. It completely contradicts its own marketing.
Now, what's really interesting about this next one is how a genuinely life-saving medical treatment gets completely hijacked by everyday wellness culture. Activated charcoal is very real. It has a well-established medical use in emergency rooms to treat specific types of acute poisoning, always under direct medical supervision. It's highly effective at binding to harmful substances in the stomach. But that legitimate ER tool is essentially being borrowed and repackaged so they can sell it to you in your $12 morning smoothie.
And here are the real risks of doing that. Because activated charcoal isn't a smart-seeking missile, it's not perfectly targeted for general detoxing, it acts more like a giant, indiscriminate sponge for everything. That means if you're casually sipping a charcoal lemonade, it can actively bind to the necessary daily medications you take. It literally reduces the effectiveness of the nutrients and vitamins your body actually needs. So instead of purifying you, casually drinking charcoal might just be blocking your body from absorbing the very things keeping you healthy. Crazy, right?
Moving right along to our second category, skin scams, wraps and patches.
The fundamental question we have to ask ourselves here is, can you actually sweat or pull internal toxins out through your skin using an external product? The marketing imagery is incredibly persuasive for sure, but we need to see what biology actually dictates. Look at foot patches. They explicitly claim that toxins exit your feet overnight while you sleep. The scientific reality? It's literally just a basic chemical reaction with your foot sweat. Then we have those expensive body wraps, heavily marketed at spas, claiming to shrink inches and magically pull toxins through your pores. The reality here is just temporary water weight displacement. In both of these cases, there is absolutely zero credible physiological mechanism for toxins exiting your body through these methods. None.
I actually love this fact because it completely shatters the illusion. That dark, gross discoloration you see on an adhesive foot patch the next morning, the one that makes you think, wow, look at all those toxins leaving my body. Well, actually, scratch that. It's just a chemical reaction between the patch's ingredients and moisture. In fact, independent tests have shown that this exact same color change happens if you just hold the patch over a steaming pot of water. It happens even if the patch isn't attached to a human foot. It's a brilliant visual trick, but it is absolutely not a detox.
And what about those luxurious high-end body wraps at the spa? Any inch loss you measure with a tape immediately after a wrap is almost entirely water weight. That water has just been temporarily displaced by the intense heat and the tight compression of the wrap itself. The wrap isn't melting away fat, and it certainly isn't sucking out cellular toxins. It's just shifting your body's water around, water that's inevitably going to return within hours or a day as soon as you naturally rehydrate.
Let's move to our third category and see how this builds. Liquid illusions, looking at infusions and baths.
These products cleverly use water as a prop to trick us into thinking a deep detoxification process is happening right before our eyes. Let's compare fruit-infused detox water to plain tap water. Now, let's be super clear. Staying hydrated is wonderful. It genuinely supports your kidneys and liver in doing their natural filtering jobs. But the benefit comes entirely from the water itself. The lemon, the cucumber, the berries, and that expensive bottle of detox water add great flavor, sure, but they add absolutely zero actual detoxifying properties compared to a regular glass of plain water. That detox label, pure, unadulterated marketing.
And this next one brilliantly illustrates one of the most deceptive visual tricks in the entire wellness industry, the ionic foot bath. You sit there, and the water turns a murky, sludgy brown or orange, which the operator presents as visible evidence of toxins leaving your body. But it's actually just electrolysis, a basic chemical reaction between the metal electrodes in the device and the water itself. The water turns brown automatically. It occurs whether human feet are soaking in the tub or not. You are quite literally paying to look at rusty water, not your own expelled toxins.
Which brings us to our fourth and final product category, the juice cleanse myth. Does it really reset your body?
This is where we see some of the most aggressive marketing out there, promising that if you essentially starve yourself of solid food for a week, you'll hit a magical reset button on your entire biological system. But does starving yourself actually cleanse your organs? The price tag on these multi-day juice cleanse programs is truly staggering. You're easily looking at $100, often hundreds more, for just a few days of bottled cold-pressed juice. It's a massive hit to the consumer's wallet, often driven by a genuine desperation to just feel healthier and cleaner. And that high financial investment is exactly what makes the harsh scientific reality of these cleanses so incredibly frustrating to uncover.
So the big marketing claim is that this expensive program resets your body in 3 to 7 days. The scientific reality, though, is that a juice cleanse is physiologically just a period of significant calorie and protein restriction. You aren't experiencing some magically enhanced detoxification process. What you're actually experiencing is fatigue and, over several days, muscle loss, because you're denying your body the fundamental macronutrients it needs to thrive. Your organs don't need the juice, they were already filtering your blood for free. All right, let's pivot to our final section, the real detox secret, the habits that actually work.
We've debunked a lot of very expensive, very clever scams today. But, beneath all the predatory marketing, there is a real detox secret. And it's something much simpler, much quieter, and vastly more effective. Take a close look at the genuinely good habits hiding right under the scams. Drinking more water, eating more fiber, cutting back on highly processed foods for a few days. These are incredibly legitimate, genuinely healthy habits. They work beautifully because they directly support the organs, your hardworking liver and kidneys, that actually do the biological filtering. When you do a juice cleanse or buy a fancy detox water, you might accidentally feel better simply because you're doing some of these basic good things like hydrating or avoiding fast food. So the absolutely crucial point to remember is this. The problem was never hydration or eating better. It's the specific detox packaging and price tag layered on top of habits that are already free. The wellness industry took basic lifestyle habits that already worked, repackaged them, slapped a pseudo-scientific detox label on them, and sold them back to you at an incredible markup as something groundbreaking. It's a genius business model, but it's terrible science.
But hey, the great news is you don't need to buy a detox. You already own the most sophisticated, highly evolved detoxifying system in the world, right inside your own body. So I want to turn it over to you. Which of these wellness myths have you actually tried in the past? And more importantly, what massive industry illusion should we systematically debunk next?